like, damaging down, we're going to take an intentional death at the end of this fight to skip a story cutscene. So I'm at 1 HP here. Eventually, in this death animation, some tendrils are going to emerge from the boss. And I'm gonna die with them. So now the text for that, for the boss death comes up, but we're back at our spawn point, and I did not have to watch the cutscene of him, like, installing himself into my sword. It's like 20 seconds of time save that just, yeah, as long as you don't die too early there, because if you die too early, obviously you have to refight the boss. But as long as the tendrils are, like, above the boss, it's free time save. If you respawn from this and you find that Haiku won't move, there are some circumstances, we're not exactly sure what causes it with 100% certainty. But if you find that Haiku is, like, holding the sword above his head and it's just stuck there, you can just quit out, because you're already, like, at a save point. You can just quit out and then load back in, and you'll be good to go. Ooh, corner boosting. This is the sort of, like, nitty-gritty stuff. I've sort of demonstrated it incidentally at a couple points in the run. But when you roll over a corner, you gain a lot of height, depending on what angle you hit the corner at. It's very good. We can do there's all sorts of fun little room optimizations with corner boosting that you can do in this game with Morqual. Something that is incredibly silly about this game is that when you blink with Haiku, not dash, but specifically blink, it changes Haiku's physics in a way that breaks corner boosting. So you want to be careful not to blink in splits where you have, this is very minutia stuff, but you want to be careful not to blink in splits where you're doing a lot of corner boosting, because you will lose the ability. You gain it back, Haiku's physics resets when you take a save point, or when you take damage. But other than that, they stay broken. Maybe it's just when you take damage. I actually don't remember that. Had a field day with this? Oh no, damage or save point. Had a field day with this when I was researching skip logic for rando. Oh yeah, for sure. You'll also notice that all the bulbs here are blinking red. That's because we killed the bulblet. It also makes them much faster and much more annoying. We have bomb jumps, exactly like Super Metroid, except even easier, because they're just free. You just press bomb while you're in ball form in midair, and you gain height. It's great. This skips us from needing to get double jump, which would be a multi-minute detour. Bomb jumps were even more of a field day, let's go. So with that, we have string and hook, it's our grapple. Multi-minute detours and speedruns are pretty fun. Then this is just pure movement, but also everything here is blinking red and hates you and wants to kill you. This will definitely ruin some runs, for sure. The aggro bulbs can be incredibly rude. Feel free to turtle up and heal. Then we're going to take this save point in the mainframe vault. Now, the reason I'm taking this save point in the mainframe vault is because it is where we're going to death warp. In the optimal route of this category, this is our last save. We death warp here after we do all of our story cleanup, and then we're right next to the final boss. The remaining two bosses in front of me before the final boss are the two hardest bosses in the run. There is a safety you can take before either of them. The first one's a little nicer than the second. I will point out both of these safeties as we go. But again, you would have to walk back. She hacked into the mainframe. That's the plot of this game. So there, we bombed that wall. There's a damage tank you can do here, but you don't have to. So, for this next area, the last bunker. This big room right here is a prime example of the power of BLJs. There are so many things in this room that are just a little bit taller than a jump. Like, if I wanted to get up to this wall, I could BLJ up. There are platforms that are just, like, barely too tall for a jump, but even a pretty low-to-the-ground BLJ will get you up here. However, if you want some really clean, safe movement through this that doesn't have to deal with a lot of enemies and isn't too draining on your heat, I would recommend coming through this room. That is your safety save if you want it before Neutron. And it also will, you know, heat refresh you. Then we can come around this way. It's only a couple of seconds slower than the fastest possible movement to get up to this point. It is very safe, even if you don't take the safety save there. I recommend playing around, experiment a little bit in bunker, find what's comfy for you. And then, we're gonna do the other biggest piece of nonsense in this speedrun after the iframes. This is a one-way lever gate. You are not supposed to be able to blink through one-way lever gates. They are hard-coded to push Haiku out. However, you will notice there is a little bit of regular wall above this lever gate. And so we can blink through that. This also saves like a minute and a half because it stops you from having to go all the way around the very top of bunker. It does take some practice, for sure. My advice is to do a full jump up onto... I'm gonna open it. My advice is to do a full jump up onto, like, this panel, and then slide down a little bit and start the blink once Haiku, like, falls off the wall. It'll take some getting used to, but, you have it, like... You can kill the enemies to regain your heat a little bit faster, but also you can just not aggro them and just, like, turtle down here and refresh your heat, and it's totally safe. And if you get it within a minute of attempts, it is saving time to going around. This is a basketball hoop. While technically it is optimal to just grapple all the way across this path and into the next room, this is a basketball hoop. Don't be a monster. Dunk the robot. You also do get an achievement for doing this, so come on. Dunk the robot. You know you want to. Shoutouts to AGDQ 2023, where I ran Haiku Any%, and we had a bid war for Dunk the Robot versus Save the Frames, and Dunk the Robot won the bid war, like, several $1,000s to, like, $20. The people know what's right. The people know what's good. Now we're gonna bomb this. My advice is to kill this robot on your way down. It's just 2 hits to kill. Oops. It's just 2 hits to kill, and it always drops 30 scrap, which is super useful. So that we have some extra scrap to heal with for this next boss. This next boss is Neutron. Neutron is the hardest boss in the speedrun, both because it is a very difficult boss to survive relative to everything else. I would not say the combat in this game is too hard, but Neutron is definitely a step above all other bosses in the game in the Any% run, including the final boss. But also, the quick kill on this boss is much tighter than it has any right to be. Did I dunk in my world record run? I would prefer not to answer that question. Are there any health upgrades that wouldn't be far outside the route? Health upgrades, not so much. What are the fastest health upgrades? Not that wouldn't be until very late, I think. I think the best thing in this game is just taking it slow and killing enemies along your path to have scrap to heal with. Most bosses will give you good windows to heal if you want to turtle up. That is the one thing that this run has going against it in terms of the game early, is the safeties as you're starting out are not that great. Like, let me see. Because, like, the all bosses speedrun does have a pretty comfy, like, health upgrade that it can get, but that's only because of some of the extra bosses that we're fighting that have health up, that are, like, guarding health upgrades. And the shop health upgrades are just way too expensive for you to be able to buy in any reasonable amount of time. Boo, you saved the frames, it's true. It is also a little bit RNG. So basically, the thing with Neutron is in phase 2 of the Neutron fight, Neutron has an attack called the Giga Laser that lasts about, that is always the second attack Neutron does, and it lasts about 10 to 15 seconds. So the speedrun is critically obsessed with killing Neutron before it can do the Giga Laser. I'm going to not kill Neutron before the Giga Laser so you can see what that looks like, and I'll also show off there is still speed tech we can do during the Giga Laser to finish the fight immediately afterwards. But this boss will be a wall. That I guarantee. Definitely, if you take one safety, take the safety save before this boss. That is clear. But so basically, I'm just following the boss as best as I can. This is a very long attack one, but this is attack one. I'm gonna let him do his thing. Yeah, so this is the Giga Laser. Pro tip: do not be where the skull is. So the Giga Laser is the only attack in this game that deals double damage to Haiku. If you're not feeling confident and you get this attack, just hang out on the walls until it is over, and then resume damaging minions. However, inside the column of the laser, there is no hitbox. So if you get this attack, but then you want to try and speed your way to the end of the fight, you can do this. That's my pal Neutron. Installing Haiku, let's go. Neutron. Yeah, just don't. Yes, if you collide with Neutron physically, you still do take damage. Don't let that be you either. I have no idea why the alarm went off when I landed, but that's Neutron. Unlike the other two story bosses, there's no death warp you can do to skip the Neutron cutscene, so we just have to let him get installed into our sword. How long would you say a casual of it would be first? This is a pretty fast casual game. If you're going for absolutely everything, 100% completion, fully exploring the map, I think most people have done it somewhere in between like 9 to 12 hours. So like it is definitely not Hollow Knight size. And if you're just doing like, a casual playthrough exploring stuff and going for like the any % ending, rather than the true ending and stuff like that, you can probably finish in 5 or 6. It's not super hard. But also, it's pretty, you can also just jump right into learning the route. As a certified enjoyer of learning speedrun routes before I actually finish my casual playthrough, because that's my particular brand of something, then I will never speak against just jumping right into the speedrun. We got some more movement. Here you will also see just how stupid good BLJs are. If you learn one BLJ at all in this route, learn this one. Because otherwise, getting up to the 3rd floor of Bunker takes, like, it's so weird and so bad. And just trust me, if you learn one BLJ, learn that one. Before I go out into the next room, let's talk about the surface. On the surface of the world, it is thunderstorming. Haiku takes environmental damage from the thunderstorm constantly. Basically, since we get the grapple in the route, all you have to do is not panic, and this can't kill you. It can be scary, but if you don't panic, it won't kill you. If you do panic and accidentally spam grapple and use up all your heat, you will die here. So, all I'm gonna do is if I can grapple across the full length of the room, I will. Then I'm going to grapple about 70% of the way across the next room. I'll take 1 damage, and then just do 2 more grapples, and I should be good. There's a jump you have to make. If you're too low on the jump, you will take a 2nd piece of damage. Don't panic. Just get up and grapple again. This is also why I would recommend getting some safety scrap before neutron, because even if you don't use it during neutron, having safety scrap to heal after the surface hell run is advisable. You can also kill these 3 enemies, or my personal recommendation would be to kill this enemy as well. He can give you anywhere from, I think, 6 to 15 scrap, so this was actually the lowest amount, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. Can give you anywhere from 6 to 15 scrap, and also killing him will, of course, help your heat go down faster, because you do want to be at minimum heat when you exit here, so that you can get all of the grapples. Here is the surface run. Here's my first damage. And here's the jump. Yeah, so there I was a little bit slow on the jump, so I took 1 more piece of damage right at the very end, but we're fine, and we can just heal up. Sounds good, pals. Thank you so much for hanging out. Also, assuming you do not die... Yes, you can also enter the like, shop on the surface mid-run to heal if you want. And there is a ton of safety scrap here, so if you make it through the surface... you can heal. There are a couple of these, like, really big scrap nodes that you pass by in the route. Take all of them. That'll be healing for a while. Ah, I missed it. So there's a fancy bomb jump you can do up there that the ceiling sometimes likes to eat your inputs on. But anyway, now we're in Blazing Furnace. Now I am missing basic movement in Blazing Furnace. It happened. For these jumps, they're quite tight if you're just jumping out. The game sort of quietly expects you to have double jump here, but we of course don't. Something that I haven't talked about is, if you jump out of a morph and then remorph quickly in the air, you keep your morphing speed while in midair. So make sure that jump and morph are bound to some place where you can where someplace where you can do both in quick succession. Because generally, for just, this is like, you know, getting a little bit of extra speed out of everything. If you morph as soon as you jump, in most cases, you just get more speed for free. Okay. This next room is one of the most, like, swaggy movement optimizations in the run. Do not go for this when you're starting out. It's not that, like, it doesn't look that cool, but it's a cycle skip that is swaggy in our hearts. And it's also very fitting. Because basically, there's a specific corner boost that we need to hit in order to skip a cycle in this next room. So just to show you what this next room looks like, right? There are these two lava pillars that come down at fairly consistent intervals, and they hazard respawn you if you hit them. So, you know, the game expects you, if I'm not going to be bad here, to, like, work your way up. This is a perfect example of morph jumping. You really want to get out here with this. And then, similarly, morph jump here, morph jump here. That's sort of the basic outline. I'll show what this room looks like, you know, fast but safe. So I'm gonna jump here, morph jump out here, climb up this side of the ring. When there's a gap, morph jump twice. That is fast but safe. This room specifically requires that you have some amount of, like, comfortability with morph jumping, because these gaps are real obnoxious wise, and you're, like, basically rushing up against the lava if you're not careful. And this one I'm actually I don't think it's possible. Now, you can do it just from morph ball, but this is a good room to practice. The cycle skip. If we corner boost up the center of this, that wasn't it. Alright, hang on. You have to get here as fast as possible, then very quickly jump around the gap in, or like around the bulge in the wall, and then corner boost up that before the lava hits. I'm honestly shocked that I got it in my, like, YOLO run. There it is. Do not do that unless you're going for top times, but it feels great when you get it. I will also say, on the other side of things, here, in this room right here, is the pre-proton safety. I would recommend, as you get more comfortable with the run, cutting this before you cut the pre-neutron safety, just because with neutron, the walk back to the final boss is not so bad. With this, if you take this save, you have to walk backwards through the overheated rooms to get back to the final boss, which is a little bit less comfy and more error-prone, for sure, because going backwards, like falling through these things, can be quite obnoxious. So you can also just leave your save point before neutron. You will have to redo the whatchamacallit, surface hell run if you do that. So you've got some options. And I go a little bit more in depth into these safeties, as well as showing some of the walkbacks in the any % tutorial. So if you are curious about taking those safeties, this next room, just go fast. Do not think, just go fast. If you go fast, you don't get hit by lava there. Then, immediately after going fast, go slow. There is no way to beat these cycles. You just have to wait for the lava to fall. Hope this helps. Then we got Proton. Proton is our final story boss here. Proton Phase 1 is pretty comfy. You just are gonna sort of wiggle back and forth to avoid his lava spit attack. Sort of stay, you know, at an angle from him and wiggle back and forth while he spits. And then he'll phase. Phase 2 is, unfortunately for how late it is in the run, quite RNG. Proton has 3 different attacks he can choose from. The best attack, the absolutely awful attack, and the middle attack. In the best attack, he'll just do a cross-map lava spit attack that you can damage him through consistently. In the middle attack, he will dunk for a little bit and then come to the center and just spit lava everywhere, and there's a spot you can stand in to, like, keep doing damage to him, although he does go invulnerable for a little bit. In the worst attack, he spawns fire pillars up from the ground that appear in random locations beneath you, can theoretically cover the entire floor, or at least cover all of the places you can hit him from, and there is no rule for how big of a gap has to be left for Haiku. Let's see what I get here. So this is the worst attack, but it's actually okay because he left me a gap until he didn't, and this is the best attack. Alright, and with that, he's gonna die. And once again, I'm gonna intentionally die when the tendrils come up. And so there, you heard the, like, start of the animation play, and Haiku is raising the sword above his head. So that means I was locked out of having control, so instead, I'm just going to quit and reload instantly. I'll be where I'm supposed to be. Proton still counts as dead. You can see it on my splits, and I have it. For this last room, there's supposed to be an animation that plays when you, like, unseal the vault, but by grappling across the room and re-entering, we can skip that animation. And now the final boss. The thing about Virus is a pretty hard fight, relatively speaking, casually, but in the speedrun, he actually becomes very easy. That is because, unlike every other boss in the game, Virus can still be hurt during its phase transitions. So, basically, all you do is do not stop to heal, do not stop to think, just jump and up slash continuously, and never let go of aggro. Especially because if you die, your save is, like, right here. So, my advice is sincerely, just YOLO it. Just go full aggro. Like, learn the attacks, because there are safe spots you can stand in. Like, stand in between the goop. Generally, try not to be, like, right under him. But, like, he got one attack in after phase 1. A lot of words for a lot of stuff. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a quick break, get either another soda or some more water. We'll see what whims suggest. I am going to, that was a lot of words. I thought Haiku was only 17 souls. So true. While I am taking a break, stretching, hydrating, etc., I very much encourage you to do the same. What's your question? I mean, the magic 8-ball is for yes or no question, but we can see what it says. Let's see what the magic 8-ball says. emphatically, yes. Dr. Pepper, probably. What's your quack drink? Emphatically, yes. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break. I am going to run an ad or two while I am gone, because I love when Jeff Bezos' money goes to Trans Lifeline. You will not miss anything at all while I am breaking. I am just going to play some video game music and leave you with some fun fact loading screens, but I should be back in, like, a couple of minutes. See y'all so soon.
When it comes to your wellness routine, the details are the difference. A plant-based cleanser in harmony with our bodies for healthier feeling skin. All these details add up to something greater. New Dove Men plant-powered bars and body wash, designed for mid-skin.
Michelin innovates once more with Michelin acoustic technology, reducing cabin noise by cushioning road vibrations. Michelin, motion for life.
Blue Tackies arrived in Canada. Have you got yours yet?
We are back. Unfortunately, me listening to myself talk without headphones on meant the need for water did in fact prevail. Look at that. All the games you picked have bosses. I am very sorry about that, Zaz, and I did consider that. Unfortunately, the video game having bosses is not 100% a necessary precondition for me enjoying the speedrun, but it's very close to a 100% necessary precondition for me enjoying the speedrun. If I'm not completely destitute by the end of this month, and we are able to entertain doing this again, I am perhaps interested in finding a game without bosses that people can enjoy. Like Celeste, a game with no boss fights. Anyone who says otherwise is selling you something. There are indie games without bosses, that's true. I just don't... If you are not riffing on never finishing 1A, you wouldn't play Celeste. It's so true. Alright, here's what I'm thinking we do now. I'm thinking what we do next is... first what I do is I check speedrun.com and weep at the number of submissions that are already in. I've done the A's, the B's, and the C sides. I could do Celeste even if I've never speedrun. But anyways, I now own Misty's and some Shocks. Let's go. Good luck dredging. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna reset this. We're not going to save the wonky go. What I'm gonna do now is I think I'm gonna do 2 any percent runs, maybe 3 back to back. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a low tech speed run. So that means no BLJs. I'm going to try to not corner boost, I may forget. No Giga Laser skip. No, like, none of the really wonky stuff. I'm gonna go for sub 25, which helpfully my splits now show for some reason. Just to show what, like, solid movement, but not really grinding into, like, the nth degree in terms of speed tech looks like. Then we'll run it back and I'll try and throw everything at it like I was doing a super serious PB attempt. There is enough RNG in this run that I probably will not randomly get the world record today, but I'd like to pretend that it's an option on the table. Death's Door is not easy, but Death's Door is generally pretty forgiving in terms of safety. Like, there's an entire route that gets you more strength than you need. You're still running into the same problem with health upgrades, but, like, deaths are not as punishing in Death's Door, generally. There are a lot of good safety, like, saves you can take. But it is definitely a pretty hard combat run on that side. If you are looking to eschew combat entirely, I would probably recommend Crab Game Gun or the glitched any percent of Pepper Grinder. Because Crab Game Gun obviously skips all of the bosses, and Glitched Pepper Grinder skips a couple of the bosses. Skips most of the bosses. Yo, Gabby! Welcome, welcome! You got the caps lock shout out. Welcome on in, Gabby and Raiders. What were you up to? Love Ghosty. I have no idea what Love Ghosty is. Look, I was just really excited to see Gabby. Hello! Hello. Hi, I'm Quack. I use, she, her pronouns. I don't know why I had to think about that for a second. I speedrun a lot of silly little indie games, and let me tell you, what this month is about. This month is about speedrunning a lot of silly little indie games. Specifically these 6 silly little indie games. It's a demo I saw on Next Fest. Play as a matchmaking nuts interesting. When I'm not doing good this week, I've got to go all in on this. There's too much. This month, I am fundraising for Trans Lifeline because trans rights forever. That takes the form of 2 things. Number 1, this entire week of streams, our charity stream is raising money for Trans Lifeline. But also, if you are not able to donate, there is a donation bounty up for completed and submitted leaderboard runs in any category, in any of 6 banger fucking indie games. Every completed and valid run is worth $5 to Trans Lifeline this month. I am already floored by the amount of reception that this has gotten, and the bounty has been live for less than 12 hours. Y'all are the fucking best. You can see more details about all of the stuff, including the list of games, in that document. After today, it occurs to me I should update said document with links to some of the resources that exist. But yeah, welcome on in, Gavin, and who else did I miss? And Forbin, welcome on in. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope Steam Next Fest what we are about to do in this moment is I'm about to go through a full, low-tech, beginner-ish speedrun, clean movement, but not a whole lot of, speed tech applied, just to show, what a haiku speedrun might look like, with, some routing knowledge and obviously some experience behind it, but not a whole lot of, really finicky stuff. I will also say, if you're interested in running Haiku specifically, of all of the games in this bounty, Haiku is probably the most over-resourced relative to popularity. I have a 3-hour guide for this 20-minute speedrun, because I am a fucking nerd. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just sort of casually. I feel you at my feet. Understand. Yeah, let's go for it. I need everyone to clown on me if I start accidentally corner boosting. So accidentally doing clown on me. Please clown on me in the group if I start doing just as I walk around. Good luck learning this speedrun sometime for sure. Let's go. 42 pages sort of has bosses that I enjoy. So for starters, we death fork. Get our free heat refresh. Get our free coyote. Sort of, I guess it's not no tech because there's still plenty of stuff to recommend. If you're picking up the game for the first time, what are some things that I would recommend? I don't know. The run starts with immediately. Honestly, of all of the video games that I speedrun in this moment, I would say that around, I literally said, for fuck's sake, it's fine. I would say that of the ones that I read, around half of them either start with immediately quitting out or immediately dying, within the first minute of the run. Because yeah, crab game starts with with an intentional death. Fungus starts with the same quit literally right away. I must away and decompress. Sounds good, Gabby. Thanks again for the raid. I appreciate it. Mess him up. Yeah, lost in this game. Like, yeah, I think, Zaz, to Allie's point earlier, if as far as combat goes, this is definitely the least involved combat of the things, except for maybe, Lich or like 1%. Did I ever disclose how many Slash Twitch devs for joining and matching donos? So, I have yet to hear from devs about matching donos. But a lot of devs have seen this, and a lot of community members have matched donos. I hate the leg. Hey, Rusty! Alright, we're gonna take it slow here, because, not wanting to drop. Bosses are a little tricky, genuinely competent. Yeah. I fully... How did that... Okay. Well, maybe this is... I'm gonna take this nice and slow. Of course, you're just gonna... Nice and slow. Low attack. And need to heal. Shame. Would the phone feel more like Shovel Knight or Hollow Knight than that? Probably most. Alright, so we're setting up our iframes here. 15 seconds of iframes in to get over the car battery area. As you can see, even with no tech, no deal slides, no DLJs, we can skip car battery entirely. And he deserves it. Yeah, I will also say pogos are a little bit less powerful in this game than, like, Hollow Knight pogos. Like, morph ball movement is a lot more of, like, the substance of the run.